My name's Lattie Thomas, and I come from over in Allen County, Kentucky. My dad was a musician, and I always loved music. He was he taught music, and I guess it just got in my genes to like music. Never was very talented to play myself, but as of late, I've started to customize guitars.
My name's Moseley, and I was born and raised here in Ohio County. Have been influenced by Chet Atkins and Merle Travis style guitar since the age of 10.
Several years ago, I had a tape of Chet Atkins, and he was playing a guitar in it, and I read the jacket. I couldn't really figure out what he was doing by listening, but I read the jacket, and the jacket said he had taken an old 335 Gibson and put 2 bass strings on it, and he was playing his own bass along with his guitar. Well, that kind of rung a bell, and I fixed the guitar like that, and it didn't do too good, so I just throwed it back in the corner someplace. Several years later, I run into my friend Paul Moseley, and he said, we ought to fix a guitar that sounds like we can play bass and guitar both at the same time. So the first thing I did is this guitar here. I've got it, you notice it has bass keys on it already. And my first idea, I put 2 bass strings on this thing. Then Paul said, you know, by putting the bass strings on there, you lose your natural E and A string. So we had to figure out something else to do. So he said, if you could put the regular strings on the guitar and still get the bass sound, so well, we could do that with an octave pedal. So then the idea was to get 2 different sounds out of the guitar, isolated so that they didn't cross over and they wouldn't be both controlled together at the same time. This is a prototype guitar that plays bass and a regular guitar all at the same time. This is the regular pickups that's in the guitar right here, what's in it to start with, and we added a bass pickup between the 2 strings here where it would pick up the top 2 only and none of the rest, which fit a Thumbpicker just fine. It made it really good for them. And this was okay, and we had 2 inputs in it. We had to plug, 1 cord went to the bass amplifier and 1 went to the regular guitar amplifier. And it worked okay, but it was so cumbersome. We had to have too many cords, too many pieces of machinery and everything else. It wasn't a traveling show at all. I didn't invent this deal, but this is a jig. I improved it from what I saw it in a magazine. But this is the way you make a guitar play really well. You put it in here with it strung up, and it'll have all the distortion in the neck to start with. And then when you get it setting up there without any clamps on it on this end, well, you set it up and you set your gauges on 0 and make sure that they stay there, and after you take the strings off. So that means the neck is still staying perfectly like it ought to be, even if it was strung up. Then you can plane the frets and have a perfect, just to be as perfect as a human can make it, fretboard. And then you polish and recrown and that kind of thing and make a slick, easy playing instrument. This is the latest one that I've made here. This guitar, I'm not finished with it, the neck's not done, but this one plays like the regular Telecaster, but it also has a Pazio pickup, so we're going to be able to play a lot of different things with this. We can turn it one way and we can just have just electric guitar playing, and then we flip it the other way and we can have the electric guitar and the acoustic guitar playing together, or we can flip it all the way over and just play with the acoustic guitar. So this is going to be kind of a unique piece here. And again, I started with somebody else's wood, strip it down, and put the kind of things in it that it needs to be a really major good guitar. But this is my little shop here. That's where I spend a lot of my time.
Well, this is the solid body version of our invention that Lattie created, and it's just a standard Telecaster style body. We've added that bass pickup and still controllable with our volume control pedal for the bass. Has a little different sound when you add the bass. So I'll pick a little on this one, give you a little different style. And you also can continue to use this like a regular Telecaster and add the bass. So you get, it's quite a workable guitar to work like in a band as a background or a lead instrument too. But I like to use it with the front pickup in and the bass for the smoothest tone for thumb and finger style.
This is kind of a invention here that I come up with. I was at a music store in Bardstown, and a guy come in and said he'd like to have a banjo guitar, and the guy that owned the business said, well, I can get you one. It cost about $3,000. Gibson makes one. So I come home, I said, well, I don't really care about the sound of a banjo, but I believe I can beat that. So I come home and I found I had a set of drums out in the shop. I cut a snare drum in half and used that for the head. I made this little armrest piece here. And the back of it is a breather, top off a breather. But I guess you was taking a picture of the engine there a while ago, and this might have been the breather cap for that. I don't know. But anyway, and I made me a chunk of wood and connected together and stuck me a solid body neck on it, and it sounds like this. This is the latest one that I've finished. I've got another one in there on jig to be fixed, but this is the latest one I've got completed. Again, these are customized guitars. I buy a good guitar with good necks on them and strip them down and make them into what I want them to be. I put mahogany back inside, top on it, and mahogany back on it, and put the bindings around, a single binding around the back, put the strings through the body here, and I've got multiple bindings around the top and 2 inlaid strips. And this guitar plays and sounds really good.